I've come to realize that many people see and process the world differently. Some people want time to, okay, you said this, let me process.
Thank you very much.
And
That's
then
me.
sometimes it might be a control thing as well.
Okay.
You want to control the kind of responses that you drop because you don't want it to go straight from your brain right out of your mouth.
Okay.
And even then, why
am I wanting to control the things coming out of my mouth?
You know, we've had this conversation with you and vulnerability, right?
What up, y'all? It's your favorite podcast man back again with another one. I'm Michael Scenario.
And I'm Mure Walgunkoya.
And you are here on Menisms, and we got a special guest here with us today. In fact, we got a lady here with us today, finally.
That's why I identify as a lady. But anyway,
we got the lady.
Pardon?
I said, did I tell you I identify as a lady?
Do you see already that the problem has started already? The last few weeks of guest no problem already. We have a guest. Since people... Hey, God. We have a beautiful guest with us here today that is going to really
identify herself. Actually,
identify herself.
I go by she, her.
Can you introduce yourself to the people out here?
Which one is my camera?
Any of them.
Any of them. Mm-hmm. Hi, guys. My name is Lima Mason, also known as Hausa Chocolate, also known as the orgasm organizer of the Federation. And I'm also the host of Spit or Swallow podcast. Happy to be here.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
So we have a celebrity in our midst.
You do have a celebrity. Celeb.
Can be not. Thank you.
All right, welcome to Menisms. As you know, make sure you guys subscribe to all our audio platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, AudioMac, all the platforms. Make sure you subscribe again. We appreciate you guys. And make sure you guys always send in comments so we can definitely read them out. Because we got a few here.
Did you see my last comment on your post?
We'll get to it sometime.
Because all of you know, at least shout out to you guys. You know, our reels were doing very well for the last episode. I mean, shout out to my guy here. This is the star.
Wow, you guys were using me to catch
brave
clouds.
enough to at least.
Clouds.
All of you are bastards. I'm sorry for all of you that have been watching and that have been accusing this man of saying the story is fake. I'm sorry. Because why would somebody just wake up one day and make up that kind of story? Shout out to everybody that's worried, but there's people
to be honest, my mind didn't even go to the fact that could be a fake story. Immediately, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
it's even funny because while I was saying it, I didn't think about the possibility that people would think it's a fake story.
But then you see... Yeah. You see how women feel when they come out and talk about assault,
even in the comments.
And people say, "Oh yeah, where's the proof? It's a lie.
Or,
where's the CCTV?
You must have done something."
And
all you did was open chest.
When I was reading the comments, I was seeing a lot of like different. Like obviously, you had the people that supported it. Then, like I said, you had people that said it's fake, which made no sense.
Yeah.
Then you had a lot of women that were saying the same thing. You see how it feels.
And at one point,
that's what made me not really impressed, because for some of the answers now, I do understand in terms of understand, but it's like the way the tone of that, you see,
it was like vendetta,
like
a vendetta.
It was like, wait, we're literally just sharing a story. We're not saying we didn't believe a woman, but it's like if you're going to attack us, commentate. That's like
because but the thing is, like it just is annoying because almost every time, men relate to assault or something, it's always like someone always has to do. Imagine if it's your sister, your cousin, your brother, your blah blah blah. It's either that or it's when something happens to them that they're like,
so introspection.
Shit. Yes, and the thing is, we can't. Yeah, we do blame you, but at the same time, everybody lives out of, their own experiences. The way me as a babe now, if I'm walking down the street and stuff, I'll be on guard. I'm thinking of people calling me cat. You as a guy, it's just not your own world of experience. That's just not your reality. And so for some of you, it's when you feel violated, you're like, whoa. So this is what this feels like, because you've not experienced that. But for us, that's like every single day. How many times do they say, if they lock all the men in the world, what are we going to do? Was it like, I'm going to go and buy soya at 12 o'clock? Because those are the things that we think about. But for you guys, your reality is really like, I beg, you're ready to fight if somebody comes at you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah,
so would you say, question now to ask, would you say, because it's something we were even talking about off camera before, saying, but does that still mean that we blame the men? And what I mean by that is, man or woman, everything in this life is perspective. Like you said, until you go through an experience, that's what I talk about, that thing like we talk about off camera. Like until you go through an experience, there's only so much you can relate. In fact, you can't even relate if you think about it, because you don't know. So unfortunately for a lot of us men now, the way we're brought up and all, that's why I say, like, I don't want to say grace is given, but it's like when people come in that like tone of, and you see you men, especially when a man is talking about it for his first time, it's like, that anger can't just be put on us because, like I said, for some, you don't know until you experience it or you even have these kind of conversations.
Yeah, but the problem is that women are always saying this. We're always
so
telling
that's what I'm
you
coming
guys.
to. So so that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, it takes you as an individual to actually listen to somebody's story if you've not been through it. You understand? Like, for example, for us now, we have friends too that have told us stories that at least us as men we can listen to. But then, even with that, like I say, I think it's like, again, with anybody, you still can't fully relate until you experience it.
And that's so annoying and frustrating because it's not even just that women are telling you guys and you don't listen. There's also the thing of when women share their experiences, then men are fighting against them and pushing back and saying, but you're lying, where's the proof? False accusation. And it's like, okay, false accusations are only 2% of actual harassment and assault and trigger warning rape that actually happens. But men don't want to listen, and I feel like, yes, there are some who just can't relate and they're just like, this one is making noise because I'm sure she's being dramatic. And they're the ones that are defending because they know what they have done. And this is why I always say, for instance, men generally reject the idea or the concept of consent because if they accept what consent truly is, then they have to rethink a lot of the things they have done. They have to realize that many sexual experiences they had were likely coercion or rape or this or that.
Sorry, can we start saying something? Because there's another debate we had with some people. Can we start saying some?
No.
Here's why.
Nope.
No. Here's why. No. Here's why. Because it's like we said off camera, for now, there are billions of people in this world. Nobody's saying you're wrong. And again, to the women that are listening to this, I want you to understand what we're saying. Because maybe, please back me on this if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that, again, I can only speak for myself. He can only speak for himself.
If the statistics point to the majority, I'm not going to be focused on the semantics of saying some.
What I'm trying to say is even now, especially now, the last few years, the medium of social media has become so powerful. In fact, they say in the last year or 2 years is when you're starting to see more men bring out their own social media platforms in terms of conversations like this. Because for the last number of generations, it's been women that have been dominating the agenda that's put on social media. Let me explain. Agenda is not a negative term. See, that's the first. Agenda is not a negative term.
Agenda is not a negative term.
I said agenda.
No, but the tone.
But I don't know. But it's still explained. Okay. That's why I'm like, I'm
agenda
listening.
In terms of things that are put on social media in terms of, it's like even when they said there was a news article that came out that there was a woman's magazine now that was actually Jet magazine. It was like a black magazine for women in America that came out that was trying to tell black women how to live, be the single woman that does this.
But then the person
white women.
Exactly.
Completely. Those kind of agendas that it's still women that push that out. So now that men are finally coming to talk,
I look at you, your champion, Andrew Tate.
I'm not,
men are finally trying to talk.
What I'm trying to
men are talking and see what podcasting has become.
It's been very well. Menisms is top in the country. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Turn to shit.
No, for all of us. No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Because the conversations that we're supposed to have with each other, even to have it with the woman, for some women even, like I should even use my words, for some reason, before you even have it, it's already an attack on you. So before you guys can even have a dialogue like this now, you can't because you're already being accused or being dumped or poured on the trauma of what they, which is still not, I'm not saying your trauma is not validated, you understand, but if I don't understand something and you come to me with an energy or attack like, it's you men that do this, men that do this, and I don't know anything, then I'm just going to be like
maybe if you see, because what he's really trying to say is, if it hasn't been my reality to an extent, I can only understand because I've heard of it, right? Until it's my reality before I can truly resonate. So when there's an outrage, I can say I understand the outrage only because I've heard about other people talk about the experiences. Now, me going through what I went through, the reason I said, because I even mentioned it in that episode, the reason I said that I could understand firsthand, and I specifically said firsthand, is because no matter what you do, if you've not been in it, you don't know what it's like to be helpless, right? I can't say I can imagine what it's like to be helpless, and that's where he's coming from in.
And even
I've heard both sides. Thanks for
You've
your
heard both sides.
Thank you for your contributions. What I will say is, I mean, I've had this conversation over and over for years. I understand where you're coming from in that, but you can only speak for yourself, right? You can only come with the because I don't do this, why you just bunch me with all the men that do that, right? But for us, holistically, when you think about the numbers, when you think about stuff, just ask the women in your life. many men have harassed, assaulted,
Of
you know,
course.
all of that
Yes, of
stuff.
course.
So on a general one, men are a threat to us. So if we're having a conversation, obviously, even if I say men, this, that, it doesn't mean I don't love any man in my life. It doesn't mean I don't love my brother. It doesn't mean I don't have a partner. But we're talking about the holistic concept of you guys.
But do you know
you
that
understand?
you yourself now, you're even, because it's like even we were saying off camera about having a level of exposure or education. She herself even, you've educated yourself also to me personally from afar, because you even study these things, that you've educated yourself, that you also have an understanding of how to break things down. Most women
and
that
you
are
cannot,
having
but
the
you
same
cannot. But the
arguments.
thing is,
I'm
you
not
can't
saying they're
hold on.
wrong.
But you cannot. You can't invalidate. That's the thing.
No, I'm not.
Says there's something that my friend says, and I also say it, where it's like, I'm not here for your palatable consumption, right? Some people feel like, okay, if you want to talk to your oppressor or whatever, like you can't always pander to your oppressor and be like, oh, please free me from oppression, or just let me explain to you how you're hurting me so you stop. No, there's some times when you're going to come, you know, arrows flying, you're going to have that. And the thing is, because this is stuff I do, I see how both ways work. Yeah, there's sometimes when, you know, you see eye to eye, you're a friend, and you explain this. And there's sometimes when I'm not going to start breaking things down to you, ABC, because it's not as if it's every man that is receptive to listening
But
or
you're
learning.
still even if you come with that attack, you're still exposed and
Yes,
educated enough to know how to
no,
still say it.
but there are some times when there's education, and there are some times when I've said it before that yes, me, my own feminism is I believe that you attack from all points. There are times when we're going to educate. There are times when we'll rack. There are times when we insult each other, we'll block each other, and it's later we'll have a conversation. So people can't be like you can't be the ones to tell us how. I understand that you come from a male perspective of, okay, if you said it to me like this, I'm more likely to listen to you. But men also don't have empathy. It's how, because of a lot of the work I do. I remember when, before I even started doing like sex, and I started doing there was a lot of mental health and feminist content on my social media, and I used to talk about trauma and abuse and just all of this stuff. And so many people would be asking me, but what happened to you? What happened? I'm like, nothing has to happen to me for me to have empathy. I'm as angry, like, you can tell me about a child in China that got violated, and I'm ready to burn shit down because I can feel her pain. It doesn't mean it happens to me. But most people are like, oh, it hasn't happened to me, so I don't relate. But it's just like, if we explain it to you, but just saying, oh, I was here and somebody touched me and I cringe, or this and that, it should be enough for you to champion that. It should be enough for you to want to protect a person. But instead, it's like, oh no, defensive, I cannot release until it actually happens to you. And it's like, how many times will we explain? How many times will people cry? What do you want to get to the point? Many men have brought this decision, this explanation of, oh, if you said it like this, or many women too say things nicely. And has anything
Okay,
changed?
so I think very good points. Thank you. Very good points as well. Thank you. But you see, the conclusion in what I believe we're trying to say is, we understand and we do not invalidate any experiences, or even the ones that haven't been experienced, but share the emotions involved.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that you will still have to come, like you said, battle ready, and all that. But what we're trying to say is, it's still a daily battle for some of us who don't subscribe to these things that men generally do.
Mm-hmm.
For us to still be putting that, because I've had people, look at me and still say things like, I'm sure you're also an abuser. It's a hurtful thing to say,
Yeah.
right? And their premise is everything you've just described.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to experience it. They just had a friend or a sister or a brother who did. I mean, they didn't have to experience it, but by that, they've now projected it onto me, who has nothing to do with that, has nothing to do with them. And
It's easier to say like, oh, I'm different, but what is the difference between someone that's an abuser and not an abuser? Most people who actually have people that abuse them are people that are close to them, their fathers, their cousins, their brothers. Do you understand?
Yeah, don't disagree with
do you
it either.
understand?
Yeah.
So it's like, you already are on guard.
I get that. And I get
so
that.
I feel for you, right? Sorry, not
Wow.
sorry. I understand that you guys are in a difficult position because unfortunately for you, your colleague, but instead of using this energy to attack us and say, oh, you people are bunching us, how about you people talk to your boys?
Oh, we do.
If you go
Yeah, trust
internally
me, I do.
and you try to fix the collective from
We
yourselves, you the good ones, right? Go and start trying to fix,
I
and
don't
then we
know.
now see the change. You're like, okay, it's no longer maybe from 8% of 80% of women now is now like 50s now. Like, then it won't be all men now. The language will change because things are changing. But it's like you guys are attacking us for the things that we go through and say, no, don't bunch us. And then some men will even say, but you want us to be on board. Since you're saying all men, then I'm not interested in your
So
feminism.
my question to you now is this.
Okay.
Wait,
So, guys, we need to
quick,
actually
just one
wrap
question.
this up.
One question. No, this is why
Yeah.
we brought in. That's
right.
why we brought her on the show now. This guy. But the question is, so what would you suggest? You see, this is what we don't ask women at times when we start having these debates and fights. So what would you suggest the men do? Because now you said something just now about what's the difference between abuser and non-abuser. I was even going to say it's grace, because most men, a lot of men even. It's not like we all wake up one day saying you want to be an abuser. It's situation. There's some men that have no criminal history, and then one day, thing was said, pop, I'm not validating it at all. But from there,
That's the
you're an
reality of
abuser.
it. Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, when I'm talking about abuse, I'm not talking about physical abuse. I'm talking
Even sexual.
I'm
it could
talking
even
about
be
sexual,
verbal.
emotional. So I'm not talking about beating. Domestic violence is a different thing.
Yeah,
We're
no,
talking
but
about
it actually
sexual
still- it
abuse.
actually
Yeah,
still
it's
goes.
still
It's still the same
because
thing,
it's
actually.
still a factor that can
it's still
contribute
part
to
of it.
these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's still the same thing. Yeah. So
I'm
what
just
would you say?
What would you
we do?
suggest? Like
What do
now,
you say
what
we
you're
do?
saying? Oh, talk to what do you say?
Because actually, see the one
No,
about
but-
talking to your
yeah.
boy, we can't have that because first of all, people in my circle are not even like hello.
Sleeping in a circle or what?
Are not to our own knowledge. It's not like we know that.
let
No,
me
hold
tell
on,
you.
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead, let me see.
Be
Hold on,
careful.
let me talk. Hold on,
Don't
let me
vouch
talk.
for any man.
Me.
Okay.
First of all, I'm pretty sure nobody can point out and say, "Oh, this is Mora's very close friend." I don't have those, right? Because especially because of this.
So what were you going to say? People in your circle was.
So people in my circle are not people that we see who outrightly do these things either on social. You know, there are some guys on social media who are either fighting women and saying, "Oh, I'm sure you are a slut," or slut shaming, all those kind of things. We don't have those people that we can just outrightly say, "Oh, don't be an abuser," don't, because that's what you were saying. Let's tell our guys to not do these things.
It's not just about that. It's like there's so many times when, I mean, you are even active on Twitter. There's so many abusers that have been outed on Twitter,
Oh,
and
yes,
yet
I have
what
seen.
happens?
They
They
move
disappear
on,
for 1 week,
and then come
then
back
they
and
come
it's
back.
back to
They
status
see they
quo.
can't. Somebody's laughing. Ha ha ha.
And that's what I'm saying.
Do you
So
understand?
we don't have. So what would you say for those people who don't have those?
Who don't have
Who don't have the kind of
those?
friends who have been, let's say you have a friend that's been called out and then is an abuser. Basically,
The
like how
thing
you
is,
said,
first of all, there's this consent pyramid, right?
I can't just go to strangers and say stop being an abuser.
Where at the bottom, it's like of this consent pyramid, condoning behaviors at the bottom is what leads to like rape culture and stuff. So stuff like locker room banter, stuff like you people send one girl's picture
Nude,
to group chat
yes,
or
yes,
news, exactly.
okay.
So like that terror thing now, where he was sending news. There are people who enable that behavior, right? Do you get even showing your boys a girl's news and stuff?
Okay, yeah.
Those kind of
Which
things.
I've never,
So you
sorry,
check.
side note, I've never, guys, let's just say right
So
now, I've
that's-
never understood that shit.
This is why I keep
There's
saying that we
literally
don't
no
have
use.
those people.
I get.
But we can't
I
vouch
get
for
that.
everybody.
You can't vouch for
Okay,
everyone.
Okay, so how do people like
you,
us?
too.
It's people like us we're
the,
talking about.
The thing is, he said he's never shared.
Yeah.
So you've never been in a group chat where anyone is inappropriate ever.
Never. I've never been in a group chat that is not. So
let me. So I was
Okay,
gonna say
yeah,
yes.
go
The
ahead,
reason,
go ahead.
and when I say it wasn't like my close friends, like there's different kind of group chats, like especially when I was on sports team. So this is like
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm
Even
going
football,
back.
all you guys
All
football
those-
groups
so,
and
so
all
wait,
that.
no,
I
but
don't
then
have any of those
again,
things.
that's why I said we is being careful of the language because you know when girls now say you guys football groups all that, it will now seem like every guy's football group all that. This one was not even just because it was a specific group of individuals that I knew how they were, but we are still teammates. So I happen to be on that group chat for the reason of us teammates and we're cordial. Now in that group chat, messages like that came through. So the only thing I can do now in that point, because I'm not even close to them, is take myself out of it, ignore the bullshit. Then even
But
if
you
they
see
talk,
that.
but wait, this is what I was gonna say. Now in person, we have had those talks guy to guy, like, yo, bro, and then it's like, bro, I don't really mess with that kind of thing and all that. Like me, I'm not scared to tell my teammates or my guys, I don't fuck with that. It's wrong.
So I don't fuck with that is different from don't do that. Do you understand? It's different from checking behavior. I always tell people that being on the fence or being silent.
It's part of the
Yes,
problem. Of course, I agree.
silence is being complicit.
Okay, so maybe I should say people like
do you
me because
understand?
I don't have any of those.
Yeah,
So how do I-
that's
how
one
do I
thing.
then
One,
for it?
when your friends or your female friends or whatever, people always say that your victim friends, family members, they see the things that you say, the jokes that you make on social media. So if I know that sometimes you just say, babes, this. If you go to a guy's house and he rubs your yash, can you go? God forbid I go to your boy's house and he rubs my yash and shit happens. Do you
And
think
you
I
can't
can't
come to
come
you.
and
Yeah,
tell
of course,
you?
naturally.
Because you have
'Cause you
given
know
that
that
stance. Do you get?
yeah.
But then when you see those kind of things happening, when you can see your boy or your girl, and me, when I say you, I don't mean you in particular,
Of course,
but
I get
you're
it.
in the club, whatever. You throw parties and stuff. You know that okay, this this babe is actually drunk, and you can see a guy still giving her champagne and stuff, step in
So
and
that's about to say, just in case I've ever
So-
that always happens.
Yes.
Because that's
Do you
physical.
get? So step in and actually do something. And then you also talk to your female friends and be like, okay, I need to understand. If you feel like, okay, I don't understand, at least talking to somebody on the internet, you may fight. You have besties, right? Be like, okay, babe, allow me understand this. And then actually talk to your boy. Like, it's not every time. I don't know the kind of conversations you guys have when you're alone together and stuff, but there are times when you should be like, yo, babes feel this kind of way. Like, bring up those conversations. I feel like men just feel like,
But you're
it's
saying
not
but
really
then
my
there's a problem
business.
with
So
what you're
that's
saying.
the thing.
You see, what you're saying,
It's
we
a whole
already do
dynamic.
it. We
I don't
do
even
it
have
already,
boys,
but
first of
but
all.
So
even
he is saying, that's what I'm saying.
you have boys. Do you know why I say that?
He is
Because
saying-
no, he has boys. Do you know why I say that?
Why?
It's because even I get where you're coming from. In terms
Yeah.
of, we have friends that are guys that we go talk to that in that kind of level. These kind of conversations come
But
up.
that's what I'm
But then
saying.
there's
You
guys-
people are
wait,
saying
men-
in
wait,
that kind of level.
wait,
Me, I'm
but hold on, let me
somebody who,
explain.
if I see a babe, I don't know her, anything, I'm jumping in there.
Now
like,
that's why I
"Sis, do
said
you
maybe
understand?"
unless you're
You-
saying
I'm-
unless
you
you're
have
saying
to be more
So
proactive.
that's what I was going to say.
in
If you're
life.
saying you're going to take the extra mile, because as guys now, that's what I'm saying. Male perspective, you're a very unique individual, and I say that also in a good way, whereby human-wise, you are going to go out your way to go and do that thing, man or woman. As men, we interact with a lot of men that we know nothing about, especially in this Lagos.
But the thing
there's
is, sometimes
surface
you guys,
level.
That's why I said-
sometimes you people also hear things, and if you hear that, oh, this person has done this thing to this babe, the best that happens to him is you tell your girlfriends that you like that, man, I heard this one is this thing, or don't go near him. But nobody in his circle is checking him. People are still popping champagne with him.
That's
There's
in
no
his circle,
social.
but then if we're
there's-
not in his
yeah,
circle-
I
That's what-
understand
that's
that
what I
there's
was
no
getting at.
social. Obviously, if I heard, some guy on the internet did some stuff, I'm not going to go and meet him in public and be fighting him.
And that's what I'm talking
But
about.
the thing is, it's easy for you guys to say that because no one has reported anyone in your crew. But are you telling me that all the thousands and millions of people that shit is happening, they don't have friends? They have friends.
And I don't disagree with that. My point is, okay, you said what they should do, but if these guys are not doing those things, we want to know what we can do in our own little capacity because again,
So
like I said,
one,
okay,
so number one,
let me give you perspective.
Michael, don't be telling people, oh, remove me from the situation. You're telling you that, like, that is not the point of what is happening now.
No,
You're
but you
centering
didn't
yourself
say
in that. No, I get what you're saying, but you're centering yourself in that conversation. Also, swallow your pride and swallow your ego and swallow the need to prove yourself to be the saint at that point in time. Because I feel like you still do it now. Even when we're talking, even if I say you, Michael say, no. I don't do that. I get that.
Like, if you're a guy, that's why I said the male perspective. Because again, perfect example. You meet a guy today. For example, you know how you brought me to football now.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is why I want guys to understand, because the male perspective. You brought me to football one day. My first time at football now. I'm sitting down. My goal is to play football. The only person I know is him there. If I sit down and they start making jokes now, babe references, jokes now, women are this and all that. Now, what I'm asking, this is what I'm trying to understand. Are you telling me from then on, I'll stand up?
Yes.
Guy, and that's
It doesn't-
right, and
it
I'm not
doesn't-
saying
Yes.
you're wrong. And
Doesn't-
you see
it
what I'm
doesn't-
saying?
Oh my God,
You see what I'm
yes.
saying? You know, so I said she wasn't wrong, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it takes a special character now.
No, yes.
It's
So
not
you
wrong.
have to check it. You
But
have
you
to
see-
check.
But you know
So
everybody
Did you
can
get
be
what I was
bold
going
like
with
you.
this
Of
now?
course, everyone can be bold, but that's how I am. Me, I have checked drivers, I've checked malams, and then people actually say sorry. I was literally. I remember one time I was in Aegis, is this where they have C of O's in Abuja and stuff. And one lawyer was talking on the phone, and he said, "Oh, guys, stop now. You like quarrel like woman." I said, "What do you mean by that?"
Like, yeah.
So me, I check it everywhere, and I talk to everybody everywhere. I understand that I'm ready to fight. It's not everyone that's going to do that, but you also can't be passive about You can't ignore. If you keep ignoring everything, you're going to allow shit happen. Do you get? Because you can't just be like, that's the thing. We act like, oh no, we have to wait until it's in my own doorstep before we start putting out the fires. But you're seeing fire burning around you, and you're just like, oh, it's not my business.
But then would you not? But then that's why I said, isn't also a case of everybody has their own unique way to portray.
So what
you know how
do
you
you
get
do?
the
So
fire.
what do you do?
Menisms is a perfect example. How many men in Lagos, how many men in
That's
Nigeria are
one way to
talking the way?
look
Do you know how brave, even for us to talk of stories, even me, I'm not comfortable to share every story. He's not comfortable to share every story, but we're doing it in our capability and
that
capacity
is
to express.
and fine and good, but
And it's to a bigger scale,
yes,
like we say.
we see that and we love that. What did I say? I said I believe in every part of the fight. There's some people that fight through policy. There's some people that fight through door-to-door conversation. There's some people that fight through dialogue. There's some of us that fight from shouting. But if you say, oh no, me, my friend, I don't have circles, you say, oh me, I'm timid and stuff. Okay, what are the guys on the streets doing? Some people need to actually champion that checking behavior. People are in the club, you are seeing this girl is drunk, you are seeing this guy is manhandling her, you are keeping quiet. There's so many Nigerian artists and this and that, especially you actually, I mean, even me that I'm here now, there was somebody who was someone's birthday party, popular celebrity or whatever, we're talking, next thing this nigga just starts sucking my neck. For what?
The fuck?
Excuse me?
Why are you sucking my neck? Do you guess? And the thing is, there's so many things that even happen to women where we just brush it off because we're just like, okay, well, at least I wasn't hurt. But at the end of the day, you assaulted me in that moment because from where to where, you just met me and you're doing that. Meanwhile, all your celebrity, both of them are laughing, popping champagne, da 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 da.
Okay.
People enable a lot. You people
honestly,
enable each other.
No, so the thing is, we actually do see these things, right? Some of these things we see, some. Now, in that kind of situation, if I saw that from afar, am I supposed to run and you're like, hey, don't do this? Because it's.
So
not,
if you see my face, if you see my face,
okay, well, if I know you,
if you see my face and you see me squeezing my face and stuff,
yeah,
you can actually come in and step in and be like, "Are you okay?"
No. So you see, wait, let's be.
It's about picking your battles.
Thank you.
You just said that he has celebrity friends.
Okay, yeah. So
he has celebrity
I
friends. About 5-6 guys around it. Relax.
I want to give you 2 examples of something. What he just said. There's 2 examples. One, if it's my own party now, you see me, and it's happened before. I can run up and go to any nigga in that party and say,
of course,
no matter where you are, section of
you have the jurisdiction.
Yes.
Now, niggas have done that same thing you are saying.
So in the club, you just leave the girl.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. Niggas have done the same thing you are saying now in terms of the club, open space. They see maybe or something, you go and do it now.
Somebody
and
pull out
ended up dead.
Yes, exactly.
No, it's not.
This is actually not. This is actually
no.
not.
I'm not saying.
If you start comparing, if you start
not
doing the
saying,
comparison battle, that it will never get anywhere. But I just want to say from the male person, you said it from the woman's perspective.
Picking your battles. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
guess that you're picking your battles, but more people need to brave up because too many people.
I mean, I agree with you.
It's not my business.
I agree.
Too
many people in a smart way.
Too many people have the it's not my business. So before they kill me, before they do this, before they do that, do you think that all the babes have gone to Cape to all the men that the men could have decked me, but me, I've said in that moment, I'm not going to hear rubbish and I'm not going to check it. Last we'll rock. Do you understand?
But you're also that's what I say from perspective. And again, I don't say this in a sexist way, but realistically, you are a woman. So a woman coming to address that, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Like men need to speak up and also take action.
Basically, what you're saying is we women should start carrying guns. Since you guys will not defend us, let's start defending ourselves.
You didn't let me finish. I didn't
Since
say we can't
you will end up dead, we are already going to end up dead anyway. So let's start killing you guys.
But the scenario you brought up is in the club. I'm talking about that scenario in the club, saying if I'm on one side of the club now, and from one side I'm seeing it, there are things, and we're trying to also educate the guys how you go about it.
Okay, so how
I'm not going to tell any guy. I'm not telling any guy to just go run up on that thing because that's going to get him killed. However, I can tell him, bro, you can go and talk to the waiter.
Thank you very much.
Manager,
you can get a manager.
Wait, hear me out. No, you have to actually be. Man, do you want me to go and tell a guy right now? Yo, when you see in the guys section, especially if there's celebrity in this Nigeria, that there are no rules. Go there. By the time 6 of his men carry him outside and I've seen it. I've seen it many times of niggas.
So basically, they're saying that they're not going to defend us.
No,
start arming yourself.
Okay, so
see,
hold on, guys.
I understand what you're saying.
We're going to end up going. We've not even started on this episode. All right.
But guys, look, all I'll say.
But this is important, though. It's really important that she's brought it up.
If you are in the club or something and you see something uncomfortable, talk to your guys around you. Talk to the wait. What I'm saying is the waiter now that's there. Tell him security. Go and meet my babe. They
talk to security. Talk to the manager. Why are you talking to waiter? Like talk to someone that can actually do something. But even in Nigeria itself now, okay, so even if you talk to the manager of a club, the
manager might also even be a complacent.
Even the owner will even say,
but then what do you want?
If
XYZ,
but that's the best
you
said,
what do you want us to do for somebody we do not know? I cannot go tell a young man to go and kill himself.
C for effort. But the fact that you are even automatically thinking that you're going to get killed. It's a possibility.
It's a reality.
It's a possibility. So is it every single celebrity, every single person that's going to kill you?
They would literally see. There's no outcome.
Every single
hold on. There's no outcome where they won't be violent with you. You know that. There's no outcome.
As somebody that works in the
there's no outcome where they're just going to tap and be like, oh bro, I didn't like the way you separated me from that girl. There's no outcome.
In this Nigeria.
But be ready. That's what I'm saying.
I should be ready
community, that's the thing. We need community care. Everybody's always from, it's not my own. It's not my problem until it's my problem. Please.
In every society,
Jazz
you have
up,
to be
chop
smart.
liver. All your muscle for what?
It's for women, please.
Okay.
Let me just say, let's not be as if. I'm
Please,
kidding.
all I'm saying is,
I'm kidding.
Muscle can
if you see something, say something.
Okay, so
That's
actually,
all. That's
so
what
you know what,
I agree.
guys. This, I think we're all one house. Okay, we have been. It's not even. It wasn't even an
No,
argument.
it's
Yeah.
good.
So, but it's very important because it's good she's brought this up because it stemmed from my own story, right? So, again, it's really important. If you see something happening in your immediate surrounding, don't just always turn a blind eye. You don't have to get in and start being physical. Be smart about the situation.
Yeah,
Think of what you need
and
to
it's
do.
in different
and-
forms. It's not always even like that. I remember even one time I was at a club, and this boy was literally so drunk. He was stammering. He almost fell inside shawarma fire. And I stood and I was like, okay, as my friend, I'm not going yet. I stayed with him. I got his phone. I had to call his family, and I don't know him from anywhere. But it's just that natural disposition of, oh my god, somebody looks like they're in
I've been in-
danger.
Then you see,
I've been in
And
situations
just-
like
yeah.
that as well.
That's why I said people should do that more often. But that's why I was going to say you should do it in terms of using wisdom to your own capability. Nobody's saying you shouldn't help, but you guys use wisdom in how you
Do you
help.
get? The thing is, if you already have, it's good to have a mindset of, okay, let me help, but let me be smart. Some people are like, oh, what's my own business? So automatically,
Yeah,
they
Yeah,
don't-
but
yes.
yeah, but
That's
it's
what we're saying.
sometimes.
Yes, too many-
Wait,
we
hold on.
have too much of
Hold
that
on. You know,
stance.
sometimes because I will say this from experience as well. Sometimes that's also based on trauma because I've been in situations where somebody. In fact, this happened to me once before. A girl was drunk in the club, just like you said, but it was a girl instead of a guy, and she looked like she literally couldn't handle herself. Like I was supposed to go back into the party. I had to wait. Like I had to sit down with her outside because I couldn't find her friends. So I just waited and said, you know what? Her friends will look for her at some point. I'm sure they will come outside and look for her. And I didn't know that she was with some guy that she came with. So I was just, standing next to her, waiting for her to like kind of get herself or somebody to come look for her. And next thing, a guy was running from her phone and just punched me.
Oops.
And his statement was, "What did you do with my girl?"
Thank you. I was also about to
Now tell me, do you think I would ever see somebody again and
mean,
help so that they can?
look,
I'll be just
and even-
giving free blow every
Do you
Do you
weekend.
know how many heroes have scars?
I'm not interested,
and
please. I'm not interested.
Anyways,
So I'll
let's
not be
go.
explaining to the girl that I want to marry that actually this guy is from when
Yeah,
I
but
left.
that's
I tried to save one. I
I
tried to
get-
save one woman, and then the
I
boyfriend just
get
said,
it,
"Oh."
but sometimes your reward isn't heavily.
Hey!
You know the worst part. So we'll move on. You know the worst part is. I was even going to take the example. You never see that one that you come and try and save the girl. She's been fighting the boyfriend. Boyfriend goes off. Next thing you know, she even.
She's not the one that
she'll
say-
go and defend
Yes,
the boyfriend.
I
yes, now.
understand that. But the thing
I
is,
beg, please.
don't just have
trauma sometimes, but-
I get it, but it's like, don't let all your this if you're led by negativity, how about, okay, maybe I'm going to save this person, and if all of these things happen, I'll find a way to mitigate. But
Yeah, I mean,
that's
if,
what I'm
if
saying.
the situation
Just-
seems like
Yeah.
it can,
Just-
it invites
And people who
my intervention,
actually
then
do
yes.
have boys, because yes, you guys can you don't have close friends. Some of you,
I get close friends too.
your close friends are beating their wives. They're doing this. They're doing that. But you guys form.
Yeah, we
oh
don't.
yes,
No, we don't
I
condone.
beg,
No.
You know what?
We don't condone
No,
that.
no.
too.
And
Eh,
let me
that's,
say-
what I'm saying. You guys
Even down
don't,
to
but,
my relatives.
But even in the streets,
Even down
there's
to my
so many
relatives.
people who
And let me also say
actually
disclaimer,
condone all of that
as
stuff.
I like to say, as human beings, there's some people you think you know. You don't know what's happening behind
Yes,
closed doors.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's what
So
I'm saying, but we
you
can't-
you
but
never
that's
know.
what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
You
guys,
actually never.
guys,
If I
please.
start
Yeah,
name
let's
dropping
move on.
half
Please, let's
so
make
many
progress.
celebrities
Please,
have been
let's make
doing all sorts
progress.
of shit, everybody will.
We
Don't
can't
get me
defend them.
started.
We
Well,
can't defend them.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, next.
Ah, thank you. Are we done? Yes. Is here? Yes.
Done.
Okay. All right. Woo. All right. Okay. So sorry,
might-
guys.
we might
I mean, sorry, but not sorry, but
We might be able
we are taking
to do
lessons
like
from all of this.
two things because of time. And then
Yeah,
we'll
but we'll still talk about that topic because we have to talk about that topic.
What topic is that?
Anyways, yeah. So we have some questions or experiences from. Now, this is from one person. The person's name is Adeleke Kehinde, I think, and the person says, "What can I do
you
to be
casting the name?
featured?" Sorry,
Why are you casting name?
No, we say the name.
Oh,
because
you said the
we're
name.
supposed to not say the names, but okay, they're supposed to put like fake or real names.
Oh, fair.
So we don't know if that's the person's real name, but
Oh,
that's what
fair.
the person's put there. Yeah. So the person says, "What can I do to be featured on Menisms?" This is pretty interesting. Right. So let's see. What you actually need to do is you need to have the hottest experience. Like, I mean, okay, well, no, let me not say hottest, but something really juicy, something interesting, something you think, people need to hear. Emphasis on need. Something you think, is such an experience that can definitely not be kept hidden. You have to kind of, in fact, it almost needs to go in books.
That's
Yes, now that's what we need. What we need is
As in,
extreme.
I was,
You get wisdom-
I
you
was
get
just
wisdom
gonna
to-
say, Like as
'Cause
a man, what do
everybody
you
would
need
share
as a man? You know, if first
even
instance.
women
I would
can share
say
experiences.
if you've had experiences that you know a lot of people can, it's like you said, a lot of people can relate to, but in your own unique way, pull up. If
Yeah.
you're somebody that your story now is something that
Have you guys had a trans man on your podcast?
We haven't had. So we haven't had a lot
that's
of.
interesting.
We haven't had a lot of.
Rainbow flag.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we have.
No,
We haven't had people in any of the in the
Yeah,
LGBT.
because
that
you know,
topic-
so that's because that's another thing. It's like, okay, what is a man, and what are the different spectrums of men? Because you know, the thing is, you have to at some point, and this is me coming from the point of my own podcast, right? When you have a podcast and you have both of you have strong opinions, but you know, like I said, when you came on mine, you are like the softer, you know, Michael is like, oh, I'm innocent, I'm this and this. You call me the more.
No, that's not true, please, guys. That's not
funny
true.
thing is,
No,
even though
you
I'm
do.
innocent. I don't even.
No,
I'm surprised.
no, calm down. I'm not saying stop defending your tender, you know, nature.
No, I have
I'm
it,
not-
but I'm just confused by the way you
Oh,
address it.
so what I'm saying, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is, you guys show two different sides of like what
The same coin still.
yeah, exactly. But you're still quite similar. So you need people that are to the left of you because, you know, a lot of men do listen to your podcast. Yes, women as well. But men actually like that they have this space. But there are men who don't relate to you. And so if you're trying to promote, but me, you know me, I'm all about diversity and inclusion. If you want to think about, you know, when you think about man, just don't think about man, like, oh, as a Lagos boy, this is my experience. But like, other type of men, you know, want to share their experiences. Bring,
course,
yeah.
we
Have you
know.
had a gay guy? on
We've
your
never,
podcast?
we've never. So,
Bring a gay man.
so we've
here,
never
bring an
actually
effeminate
capped
guy.
it.
Do you understand?
So
Exactly.
we've never capped it at that, right? We've never. I don't think. At least
So no,
that
I
we
don't. I
have.
don't think that you cap it, but you know, it's how like sometimes in life you move according to like your frame of reference or your bias. Because first,
there's no flaw for the
so as
person
a
going
man,
in.
you may just think, okay, you know, if I had a male centered podcast, I'll think about, okay, you know, people who didn't have fathers, maybe vulnerability, you know, talking about your worth not being tied to money, the general stuff. Then you now start to gradually open your mind and think, okay, aside me or what I would think, what are my listeners like? What type of man is on this pod? Then bring somebody that people can relate to, who you don't relate to, and who you can get fresh experiences from. The same way, like me, I notice like I'm like I don't always want, when you have a loud voice on your podcast, people also listen to you, and you never know how people start tapping into, oh, Moira does stuff like this, so this is how this is done, and this is how this is done. And so you don't always want your perspective to just be you guys. You want somebody who can be totally to the left, and it might just be 2, 3, 5, 10% of your listeners who relate to that person. I think that it gives it a more like, you know, authentic.
Yeah, I mean, so I fully
dynamic
agree,
type thing.
and so I guess just further buttress our point. Where basically, if you have, you know, interesting experiences, it could be that, you know, your first time you came out, you know, to be, you know, identify as whatever you identify as, or it could even be that, you know, you had a child out of wedlock and, you know, your entire family just came down on you, or I mean, just whatever story it is. I think something that is just very, that you believe we already, you know, we
Yeah, or
can't
just
even
like, or people will
In fact,
benefit from it.
I would say that the best one for me is people who have experiences we can never possibly relate to or share. So I guess that's the one that I would say
unique
would be
ex-
so
like a
something,
unique
you know, that no matter what we experience, we actually can't experience that. You know, so
There's that, and then something that many people relate to. So like I said, a whole spectrum. You just pick and choose like different, because sometimes people want like, oh my god, yes, all of
I
us actually
understand
go
as
through
well,
that type of stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
that's
as well.
interesting because
Yeah.
given the topic we're going to talk about today,
Yeah.
I'm joking because I'm just setting the floor for a lot of
Let's do
This
tension.
topic that we have been broaching.
Please don't mind
Get
me.
us-
I'm just
I'm
creating
ready,
the
I'm
floor for a lot of
ready.
tension.
Next
So yeah,
comment.
Your foreplay game.
Shout out to you that sent the comment, and we appreciate that. Make
Yeah.
sure you keep sending them in.
Yeah.
Next person, Steph. I'm in a talking stage and he doesn't like calls. I've tried to hint him, but he still doesn't.
Doesn't like
He
cuddles.
attends
calls.
calls. He doesn't. I'm
funny
in a
'cause I never
talking
really
stage
do
and
this.
he doesn't like calls. I've tried to hint him, but he still doesn't. He attends Covenant University, but even when he's at home, he still doesn't call. He enjoys texting more, but I like calls.
Okay, so for context, hold on. So for context, the person referenced Covenant University because they're not allowed to use phones. So that's why the person said even when he's at home, he still doesn't call.
Okay,
Meaning
at
that
least so
in
people
school-
can understand the perspective.
Yes, so
of-
in school, he's not allowed to call. So, well, he can call, but there are like strict means. At home, he's more flexible. He has his phone.
So I'll say for that kind of situation, I mean, to each the two sides, to each their own, because is like I started doing this thing called adult conversations, where you find out what each other likes.
Okay.
And then from there, it's up to you to make a decision if you're going to be together, that I'll compromise and do this more for the other person. Then if the other person, if you have your standard and your partner is not willing to compromise for you or meet you in your way, it's up to you to decide, do I tolerate it, or is it something that's my non-negotiable, if that makes sense. So it's like, for me, I don't like texting like that.
Okay.
However, if you call me, we're going to get everything out the way. So there's some girls I've dated, example now, that they like texting. I don't like texting, and it's caused a problem. And switch. I like calling. Some girls don't like calling. So those ones, some of them didn't last, because it's like, what can I tolerate? So for her, I would say you two, you decide what you tolerate. Because if it's a problem now and you tolerate it, later on it's going to become a bigger
starts
issue.
as you mean to finish.
Because I can relate to this, because I also don't like phone calls. So it felt
Either
like
that
she was
or he's
talking-
hiding his family, girl. But
Yeah,
I mean,
either,
there's that. I was
either
gonna
that's-
say that.
Hold
I was
on,
gonna say
hold on. Either that's why I'm hiding my family, but I guess we'll never really know. Now will we?
So you have a family you're hiding.
I guess we'll never know.
I was talking about the guy, but why you look at how you just? I was talking about the guy.
Anyways, yeah. So I can relate to the guy heavily because I don't like phone calls. So I think it's because phone calls give me anxiety. So I'm not one who, which is ironic because I'm on a podcast. I was gonna say I'm not one who like can just give you an answer right at the spot, but I'm clearly doing that. But I get nervous on phone calls sometimes. So I feel like I'm losing control of my collective reasoning if I'm being confronted over a phone call.
Really?
Yeah, that's me.
So
So that's-
basically, if they want to catch you cheating, if
Not
you're
really.
dating this nigga,
If you call me, you would never. You can't.
You
know.
won't pick up, or what?
No, pick up. You can't know that I'm losing my
A call. I rather
grip on
just
reasoning.
as in. I
But
feel
that's
like you're more control.
that's you.
No, but even in general,
No, but I
for-
think
for-
text
I-
messages is all perception.
Not really.
Oh, what does she mean?
So
by
so
this
so
thing?
so
No,
yeah. So
not
no,
really.
no,
No, I
she's
mean,
right in
that-
terms
I
of
said not
tone
really.
can be lost, but
Yes,
I think
I
that
agree.
for you as well, you know, I've come to realize that many people see and process the world differently. Some people want time to, okay, you said this, let me
I want to
process.
thank you very much.
And
That's
then
me.
sometimes it might be a control thing as well. You
Okay.
want to control the kind of responses that you drop because you don't want it to go straight from your brain straight right out of your mouth.
Okay.
And even that, even then, yeah, why you what? You
Why
know-
am I
you know-
wanting to control the things
Yes.
coming out of my
You
mouth?
know, we've had this conversation
Yes,
with you and vulnerability,
yes, I
right?
know
You
that.
want to be in control, and that's why you're like, okay, no, let me think about this, or let me not say this so that she thinks that this, or
But
you don't
control
want to
is
be
why a
misconstrued
lot of
as
people
well.
are in a mess because why would I have to say things like I'm sorry I said that if I had time to think about why I said that?
No, but then I don't even want to. I think I would.
No,
The kind of person I
explain
am.
what you mean.
The
Explain
kind of
what you
no,
mean.
the kind of person I am. I would rather. I don't want to hear. I'm sorry, I said that. It's like, okay, now that it has landed, let's unpack that. Do you get? Because if you're going to be controlling the things you say to me, then you're not giving me your full authentic self, and I don't want the package. You know.
But you can't say that because
Mm-hmm.
you see me in person and you talk to me in person. So how then would you say you're not seeing my full self?
So
because it's
what
only
is so
the
what
phone
is
call.
the different? What is it about the phone call that puts you on the spot? Because there are many people who have this. I have social anxiety, or I have phone call
Okay,
anxiety.
no. So the thing about a phone call is that at the time you're calling me,
Mm-hmm.
in more cases than one, I'm doing 1 million other things, right? So at that time, my brain is thinking about this task I haven't finished and that task I haven't finished, as opposed to if I'm seeing you in person and I know that at that time we're having that conversation.
So it's a
because-
multitasking thing for you.
Not really.
Because I was
It's
about
not
to
really.
say
I can multitask, but the problem is that you see, if you're calling me to have a heated conversation, let me just give an example. I mean, I'm not saying you're calling me all the time for a conversation, but that's an example. If you're calling me to have a heated conversation, at that time, I'm bringing in frustration from the task I've not finished. It's not that I can't multitask. I'm bringing in frustration from the task I've not finished. I'm bringing in frustration from another conversation I'm also trying to have with somebody else via text, whilst trying to have that same conversation. So you see, what it helps me do is it helps me segment and compartmentalize rather my conversations.
But then,
That's what text does for me.
But then at the
I'd
same
rather that
time,
over
is
phone
it
calls.
not a case where if you're in a relationship now, and even you as us as men, should I say,
Okay.
there's a way we have to learn to control our emotions in terms of even in that time now. Because are you going to say now with every woman you're with now, if your wife now, your babe wants to talk to you now because you day work now?
No, but those are
that you
different.
can't-
She's talking about a talking stage.
Even it, but then
Yeah,
how
but
does it
it's-
develop?
but it's talking
How
stage
does
that'll
it
develop to
But then
wife
how
and
does it develop
relationship
to
now.
something now?
If somebody, I'm sorry, but what?
Yes, so
No,
your own is
because
okay, text and then
I can-
so your
I
own
can-
is, you want
I
to,
can have
you
phone
rather
calls
just be
with-
Because
seeing.
I can't lie to
That's how
you.
you want to develop. We only text then is when we hang.
It's because I was about to
I
say
don't
that got me in
mind-
trouble a lot.
No,
with
see,
girls
hold
I
on.
was
You
seeing
guys
whereby-
you guys are misunderstanding something. Jesus Christ is Lord. Because you said you don't like text, does that mean you don't text?
No.
So why then are you guys assuming that-
But you just said, but you just said you don't. Yeah,
I said I don't.
like
I said I don't
calls.
like calls. Doesn't mean I don't ever
But then
call.
I'm saying, but you said we're
Because
going,
no, she said that all I want is just keep seeing.
Oh, I
until we
was
see
going by
physically.
what you
No,
said
no,
in your
no.
reasoning.
I said that because you said when I said if you don't call,
Yeah.
then how does it develop? But then obviously
No, of course. That's why I said that you guys are being like
No,
extreme.
I was going by your explanation of why
Okay.
you don't like calling.
Okay,
so
okay,
even
yeah.
from that explanation, that's
Yeah,
why I said
yeah.
in situations now. So you're saying that's talking stage you're talking about
Yeah.
now. Like in the talking stage, if they call you because of what you're doing and all, you'd rather sit down, process your stuff.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was saying, okay, in order for her to leave the talking stage, there's certain things you would do or graduate to.
Okay, so
because
okay.
I used to do the same.
Okay,
Where
so
girls,
maybe
I never
should-
liked talking to
so
girls.
maybe I
by
should have
my-
added. Maybe I should have added that. Of course, if I like someone, I
You
would
go out
want
your
to
way
talk
to
to. Yes,
now- so
I
that's
would
what
want.
I was trying
I
to
would even want
understand.
to talk to them on the phone.
That's what I was trying to
so
understand.
basically, you're now trying to say that this guy does not like this babe.
That's entirely.
I mean, if we're unpacking,
Entirely.
if we're unpacking,
Up to him.
yes. Because for me, I was
Because
about to
now,
say,
yeah, because now
There's
you're
something I was
just
gonna say.
bringing
Who
all
brought
these
Halima to
down.
this episode?
No,
Because this is a problem.
I was about to say, the girls I was about to say is for
Yeah.
me.
Like the cocoa
certain
of the year, it
girls,
just sounds like you just round about.
certain girls I
say,
dated,
yeah.
if I dated you and I wouldn't want to talk on the phone, I did cast myself. But if I,
But it's not outright though. Like
no, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
But it's like
No, there's nothing
again,
about-
it's effort. It's like if
Yeah.
I'm not going to make an effort to meet you halfway,
Yes.
stuff I like. I don't like you like that. Not
Well,
not that you're a
I
bad
agree to
person.
The thing
that,
is,
yeah.
you
Not that
have
you're a
to
bad
understand
person.
each
I
other.
agree
Like
to
you can't be like, okay, because I like calling on the phone. If someone says they don't like calls, I will try to understand why you don't like calls, and we'll find a balance. But you can't now say 0 calls. Do you get?
okay, maybe I should give more perspective on this because we'll definitely move. Like so me, I guess because again, I'm not even sure. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure why. But I guess maybe from how the whole phone culture started before we got into social media and whatnot. Then it was more you're either calling or texting.
Midnight call.
You're either calling or texting, and texting was
Yeah.
actual text messages. So then it felt like people would just even call just to, hello, yeah, so how's your day going? I can't do that. I can't do those kinds of phone calls. So I think it's the
can
trauma.
do 12 hours of FaceTime like this while
No,
just
no,
following each other.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
can.
no.
The
So
thing is,
I
what-
can do them once in a
very,
while.
I'm very
12
happy.
hours?
I'm very good with all forms of communication. If you're a good texter, we'll be texting. If you're a good caller, we'll be calling.
So meaning no
Do you
one can
understand?
even know which one you do when you like the person.
You cannot know whatever one.
I get where he was
I-
from. Where I get it.
Yeah.
I'm more of a
I can't
person.
do it
I'd
all the
rather
time.
see
That's-
you in person.
So in fact, I think for me, in person is even my least safe. If we call,
So I should
What?
waste my time on my phone.
As in, don't be
calling,
talking.
calling.
if
Mama-
I'm yeah.
Wow, that's a red flag.
If
That
you
is such
say
a red flag.
That's a red flag.
if you communicate with me often enough via phone and I feel connected to you in that way, same way
You
you
don't
said.
feel the need to see the person.
I want
this
to
is how
see
I feel.
how
This is how I feel with phone calls and texts.
I understand that,
Very
right?
good. I'm glad you understand
Wait,
that.
hold on. What I'm trying to say is, right,
Right.
when you come and I'm seeing you all the time, you're taking away from my day. When I'm on the phone with you, right, I'm doing stuff.
You're
I'm,
taking away from my day
yeah.
too.
So I can't do stuff,
So
maybe.
there are some people who. So that's why I don't like
Okay,
video
okay.
calls.
Maybe you must be right.
Sometimes,
Actually, multitasking may be my problem.
So sometimes video calls can be stressful because you need some of my attention and stuff. But then when it comes to seeing, it means, okay, if you come over, I have to maybe think of food, I have to think of this, I have to think of that. I have to actually give you attention because except you guys have reached the point where we can be together and I'm working and you're working, but okay, maybe our legs are on each other. But if it's talking stage, if you come to my house, we'll actually be talking to each other. You've now child 6 hours of my day. Then, okay, that's so cute. Then you want to come tomorrow. For what? Just talk to me on the phone. And even with talking on the phone too, it doesn't mean we need to talk 24/7. Like if we've done what are you getting? We've spoken 3 hours. Then 5 p.m. you're calling me, uncle, what happened? Like send reels on Instagram like you and
So
move
that
on.
means you
Like,
don't really
yeah.
like. Not correct me if I'm wrong. That means you don't really like these people fully. It's not you. Wait, what I'm going to say. This is because I know you're about because the attack
the fact that you even had to.
I can already see it. Not to you internally, like anybody. Because if you really like somebody, any of us, man or woman, you know, go think of all the time you spent. Or you came today,
No,
don't
so
come tomorrow.
no, so
like,
no.
cause
I
some girls,
disagree. Hard disagree.
Have you ever
Love
not liked some? Have you ever not
love
liked
language.
fair?
Love language.
Fair is,
love
is
language.
select
Do you
is
understand?
different.
Yes.
But then if you're somebody that genuinely likes somebody, okay, maybe again from the male perspective,
want crack
if
with
I like
that.
you like that, I won't be seeing you.
Okay, so
I want to see you, but
I
not
could
all
be
the
wrong.
time.
Again,
Because
everybody's
for
so
me,
different.
Yeah.
I start
all
to
the time
get
for me.
palpitations.
Not every day,
Like,
not
it
every
stresses
day,
me. Yeah,
not every
I'm
day.
not saying don't see at all. Of course, I want to see you like a couple times a week. In fact, if we're even just early talking, Seb, the thing is, for me, Sha, if we started fucking ahead, you can come every day. Okay, maybe not every day, but
Yeah, but
more
I mean, the person's
but
obviously
if
coming for other reasons. At
yeah,
that
no,
point.
I was
but
about to
that's
say
what I'm
is-
saying. No, but if it's early talking, like we're just we're still getting to know
Getting
each
to
other.
know each
It may
other
even
and
still be early stuff.
Okay.
I don't need you in my space all the time. Do you get,
Okay.
like, give it a slow build. Don't just enter bold. You're not even the only one on the list. So what do you say? We're talking. Do you know how many people I'm talking to? I can't just
Exactly.
pack all
So
that.
that's what I said. I'd rather
But-
see if we're
So I
talking.
have-
I'd rather see
so-
you than you call
So
me.
wait, hold on. You guys
Yes,
are being
but not
interesting
all-
right
but
now.
not all the time.
It sounds weird. I'd rather see you more than I call you or you talk.
So hold
I
on.
don't know if you're
No,
talking
so,
to
okay,
that.
this is how I
so
push
wait,
people away,
wait.
because you're overwhelming me with your presence. Like, relax now.
But then the call
I
is
never
like-
love you.
call is an
Calm down.
investment. It's
So we
like-
don't have to call. Oh, we can text, right? And we can call sometimes. It's all about
But then
hybrid
it comes to
and
his
finding
point of
your
what he
balance.
said. If we're calling and texting, because I get that's what I said. I did with you. If I'm just talking to you and I'm calling and texting,
So okay, how
that's
many?
my personal time.
If you're talking to somebody, how many times a week do you want to see them?
It's my mood. It's how if I like you like that, I'm gonna be seeing you. We don't count.
But-
Wait,
I'm
are we
gonna
talking?
see
Are we
you.
talking about like
Days.
Like which one? Like or
like
I'm moving
dating
to you.
or like moving
Talking,
to?
so like
I'm
okay,
moving
so
to
like
you,
what
I
talking
like
stage
you.
Are
talking.
we talking early talking? Or are we talking deep talking? Like,
So we don't know
almost
what stage
relationship.
they're in, but it
Nigeria.
sounds like
This is why everybody's on situationship mode.
Yes,
because
actually,
of
honest,
this
yes.
rubbish.
okay, so okay,
So-
even, okay,
so we don't know
even
what
if-
stage they're in,
Even if it is
but-
deep talking,
yeah.
what? Okay, let's say deep talking, but you guys have not started being physical. You just like each other. You're
Okay.
still spending time. How many times do you want to see a week?
Now, there's two sides to this again because
Mm-hmm.
as a man, depends what's your intention. Because if you're trying to smash, no, I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying to smash, you're gonna
You
sacrifice as
vim.
many
Yes,
trips as
you
you
vim.
need to.
I agree that,
You'll
yes.
But then,
Yes, I
if you
agree.
really
But
like
if you
her,
want to love too,
then
but
if you
sometimes
like
it's
her,
when some
but
niggas
if you
love
like
that
her,
they
now if
dim
you
like
like her,
that.
no, but if you really like her, then really and truly, I'm on a freebie as a guy. It's more of your mood in terms of if I get free time.
and
if
that's why I
just
said
want
them
to,
that I can
I
talk
go
with
to
Oh,
you.
so
But
if
calling,
a nigga is at
calling
high
means I
pressure,
have
it
to
means you
invest.
wash
in-
your own
No,
chow,
but
your
calling
pussy.
means I have to invest in certain
That's
time.
what you're
No, wait,
saying now.
calling means I have to
He
invest.
said
Excuse
I'll
me.
make all the trips like wow,
No,
so you wanted to
no,
do it
to his point of what he said,
out.
it's like now we'll be doing podcasts all day, talking all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll not go home. I probably just want to go and chill, watch something. I'll now have to call 1 hour, sit down on the phone. I'd rather waste that time in person than sit down my personal
Okay, so
time.
you do that. I understand. You want to unwind. You want to go and rest on breast. Cool, nice. Then tomorrow again, you not say, "What are you doing? I want to come and see you." What now?
No, okay, that's when a text or something can be.
So
held up on-
you know the thing. You know the thing.
Space it out, nigga. Don't
so
choke me.
This is wild. This is from somebody else's experience. Somebody else's situationship. See how we're
Look
trying
how
to my
we're
head.
dragging everything.
Anyways, so I think to kind of like summarize this, because I think you're right, you know, because I did a little bit of introspection and thinking about why I don't like phone calls. So a lot of my work is almost 24 hours. I'm an architect and I'm literally working around the clock, right? So part of my work is, in fact, 90% of my work is literally on the screen. I'm literally working directly on the screen. And when I'm working on the screen and someone is talking,
Yeah, chopping
my
my focus.
my
yeah.
brain is focusing on that, but trying to. So I'm not going to really be listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have a time I'll be like, sorry, I didn't catch that.
I understand
Sorry, I didn't
that.
catch that.
I get
so
that.
so if I know that every time I have to say, let me call you back, there's no point. For the texting, I can pace myself, reply you now, then drop the phone, continue work. Sometimes it can be tasking.
But that's also annoying, right?
Yes,
Where
it
it's
can
like
be, and I agree.
You now reply me, then you now message me by 3 p.m.
So most times I always say that
have
I'm
to
busy.
Yeah,
I'm
or
guilty
you
of
or
that.
you
Yes.
or you find exactly you. Do you anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, don't air his dirty laundry right now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But any,
Wow.
but anyway, so I feel like even with that, it's really about understanding the person and like finding your rhythm, right? So for some people, I remember there was this particular person, same thing, always working. So what he would do was he would call me before bed. So okay, it's like, okay, why I'm not working, I'm not doing this, is wind down, just catch up about this. Sometimes just 30 minutes. How are you?
Just
What do you want to say? Oh, what did you do? Okay, you
I
good?
can't
Okay,
lie to you,
bye.
30 minutes is even me sometimes. I check. Have you ever checked your WhatsApp or call log? You be like, 40 minutes. The
Oh
fuck?
my-
Like,
No, I've talked for 3 hours. I
anybody
know,
that's
but
talking
like,
to me,
Be like,
just don't get on the
30
phone with me because that phone call feels be 4 hours. They are going to go to bed by 5 a.m. Do you get? So
okay, so let me just note that down now.
So I think
Any
it's really
possible
just
phone call
relative.
risk.
But for me, Sha, I don't. Anyone that tries to see me every day is an immediate ick. Let me be in love with you first, and even when I'm in love with you, right? Let's calm down. Let's relax. I
So
don't want
toxic
to,
love, guys, is what
it's
she
not
likes.
toxic love. It's
Toxic-
like I am very.
You are in
team.
love with me.
I
You
don't
don't
want.
wanna see
Even
me
when I
every day.
marry, I don't want to live in your house. But let's
See his
move on.
look?
Yeah.
See his look?
No,
Toxic
my own is
love.
it was just like, if I like you, it's not every day, but
Bro,
we
she
don't
even said
wanna
in
see.
love. She said in
No,
love.
yeah, I like seeing. I just don't want to see you that often all the time.
No, I don't mean all. That's what I'm saying. Same here. Like, okay, if
That's
I
why I
say,
said
if
let's
I
give
say,
it a number. Okay,
let's
3
say,
times a week.
I
Right?
don't. Okay, no, I'll say. Okay, let's say Lagos wise. Okay, Monday. Let's say I just saw you or something for an hour or something. Mm-hmm. The next day, I happen to be in your area and invited you.
It
Someone want to
happens
go
to
with
be
me.
your area. Yeah,
No, I'm
right.
just saying, like, you know, if
Mr.
if I'm passing
Shabba.
by VI or phase one,
Who's
okay,
that passing
I see
by?
you. I see you for another hour. So,
So
right
that's
now,
why you have seen me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
so I've seen you Monday, Tuesday for 2 hours in total.
Baba, they count it.
Wednesday,
No,
okay,
my
Wednesday
own
we
is you
chill.
saw me 3
Wednesday
times
we
that week.
chill. Thursday we probably talk on the phone. Friday I see you. Saturday, if I'm free and I happen to be passing your area, if I want to see you,
Always passing my area. So now you have
then
seen
Sunday
me.
I've chilled.
Then now you have seen me 4 times in that
That's
week.
if I like you, like you.
But that's what I'm saying. You've seen me 4 times and you've spoken to me almost every day. Oh. Well, to be fair, Sha.
That's if I like you, like you. If I'm just talking like that, almost
But that means me to have to like you, and even then, say.
yeah.
My
so
point
I'm
is-
not gonna-
But even then,
My
sef,
point is, are you
uncle-
really liking your people if you're even keeping tabs on how often you guys are seeing and talking?
Thank you.
Because she just said you see me 4 times, you
For
spoken to me
4
all
Yeah,
day.
because I'm just trying to think about how my life is, right? Because at the end of the day, me, so I have other people that I'm trying to see. It's not.
So
it's,
wait,
hold on.
wait. No,
It's
I'm
not
not
hold
busy.
on,
So
wait.
I'm not busy.
It's
I don't have
I'm
other
not-
girls waiting for me
I'm
also.
not talking about men. I'm not talking about just men. I'm talking about people in my life. I'm talking about alone time. I'm talking about now you want to see me. I have to wear wig. I don't want to wear wig. Do you understand? I get that.
Do you like the?
There's
Do you
a-
really
no,
like the?
I
neck?
understand
I don't
that.
Do
think
you
she
like
does.
the guy if you have
Hold
to put
on.
on your wig?
I don't think she
Hold
does.
on.
If you like
I
the
know
guy,
that
you have to put on your wig.
there's a point in time where obviously, I mean, if you come to my house, yeah, always gonna, even on Instagram, I always post myself with cornrows. You know, I
Yeah,
don't care about that. But I'm just
yeah.
saying that seeing people, there's a type of preparedness that you have to be ready. Like, don't pull up on me.
Okay,
People
so
have pulled up on me,
that's-
and I was looking at them. I said,
Pulling
I'm
up,
not
Okay,
at
that's
home.
pulling
different. I ain't
up,
never
pulling up
pulling
is
up.
how I see phone calls.
Do you get?
Because literally,
because
against my will,
I said, I'm
you're
in your
asking
area.
to
Save Johnny now. Like, thanks
No,
for passing
but
by.
it's not every girl. If I know, that's what
You
I
have to
said.
come
For me,
downstairs or
I
what?
know
Or
that.
I have to invite you into my house. You get, like,
there's certain
I don't
girls
want you in my
know.
house.
There's certain
Get
girls
out.
you know right now that if you say, yo, I'm in your area right now, you know the level you did or your position
Of
that
course,
she's going to say,
in fact,
pull up.
That's what we
I
tell
am
you.
about to
That's
do
what
that
I'm
to
saying.
her.
But that's what we'll
but
tell
like
you
I
if
said,
you should even
if
tell
it
her
reach
you're in
the
the
point
area.
where fucking, I'm in your area. I've run inside the bathroom. It's like, oh yeah, on site. You get. So it's
So it has to be.
Take
so you
it
have,
easy.
so,
Like
so
I believe in
we
like
know,
a-
we
just
see it
said
now.
something though.
We see it now.
So it has. So sex is what will determine.
for me.
I respect that.
So let's
I
let's.
was-
But I said it from the beginning.
Okay,
I
fair
said
enough.
if we're deep talking and we're already physical, and I know, okay, you coming is enjoyment. Because it's one thing where, okay, somebody enjoys your company. I've said it that I'm kind of person where people like spending time with me. And I feel like some people are just fascinated by me. It's like, oh, just entertain me or just talk. Yes, I know I'm good
I think I'm
conversation.
fascinated by
I
you,
know
yes.
that. Oh, thank you. I know that I'm good vibes.
God,
But
shut the fuck up.
at the same time, it's like, I have to cater to the same way now. If you come to my house now
Right.
and you took your time out to be like, oh, I want to see you. Let's say I was working or I was preparing whatever for my podcast. I have to leave what I'm doing and I have to come and spend time with you. Yes, I'm happy to see you. But you know when they say like, hate to see you go, but I love to see you leave. Like, oh, I love that you are here, but go away.
I mean,
you know?
that's for even the
Go
seeing
away.
one.
Go
The seeing
away.
one is probably even harder than talking to me on the phone. But
yeah, you get like
let's not-
don't every day. Calm
Yeah, so,
down.
I mean, okay, so I
Small,
agree, I
small,
agree.
We ain't
yeah.
keeping tabs if we like.
but we
each
need
other.
to
I don't
advise
know.
these
Oh, my,
people,
they
please.
keep tab.
So actually, my own personal advice, because
They
these
keep-
two are lost. I don't even know where they're
I
going
don't
anymore.
keep taboo,
So
okay?
if he's not calling you, I think it's two things. You have to find out if he's a phone call person. I mean, I imagine you should already know that by now. So if he's a phone call person and he's not just calling you as often, or he used to call you a lot before and he's not calling as much anymore, then I think you need to sit him down and let him know that you have concerns with this, and if he has solid reasons why, no problem. If he doesn't, it's a sign that he's maybe not just that into you. I'm sorry, but that's what it is.
No,
That's how see
I
it.
definitely agree with that. Like
Yeah.
I said, you have to understand why people are the way that they are, and you find a way that works for you. I had an ex who, that one, if you read our chats, you think I'm stalking him, because I mean, when I think of things, I'm always like, I'm an epistle sender,
Right.
and then he'll just call like, okay, we can talk for hours. So our thing was talking at a certain time,
Okay.
but me, I still send my stuff random. If he replies you 4 times, even one day I was like, this is very strange for you, because he just hates texting. So
And you
it's
understood that,
exactly.
yeah.
So find what works for you. Me, it's easy for me, because like I said, if you want to be texting only, I'll do it. If you want to call only, I'll do it.
That's
If
fine.
you want to see only, I don't know about try, but I'll try my best. But yeah, so
All right.
balance.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna round it up now with our.
See,
lovely
we didn't even
guest.
get to have our topic, but
we
we'll
didn't-
catch him.
We'll catch you again. That
We'll
means we
catch
just
you
need to
again
invite you
next time.
again now,
I'm
because
screaming.
you see how already
That's
we've
it's
got
so
a lot
crazy.
of-
We didn't even talk about.
didn't
you
even
see?
talk
No,
about
but
that
again,
thing.
that's why I said we can invite you again, or you invite us again to your podcast again.
Yeah.
Do you
Oh no,
wanna
we're
give
bringing
a-
you here
Do
again.
you want to give a special shout out to anybody? Any people
Plug yourself.
self-plug?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I was about to shout out to some nigga. I mean, joker. Shout out to me, Hausa Chocolate. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Mainly Instagram, Sha, because yeah, that's where you find everything. Check my bio, all my links. I sell sex toys, so if you want some, I got you. Spit or Swallow Pod, that's my podcast as well, at Spit or Swallow Pod. But yeah, once you click on Hausa Chocolate, you find everything. And shout out to my favorite nigga right now. I'm just being silly.
1 bullet, 20 die.
I didn't say who.
I don't
but
even
yeah.
think I'm brave.
That's
enough
it.
to-
1
I don't
bullet,
think I'm
20
brave enough
die.
To say shout out to my favorite girl, like
Whoever
shout out
you
to her.
think you
I mean,
are,
it's
you are who you think you are.
people. You see people that have partners or people.
Who's it? Man, I'm
There's
single.
no-
oh.
there's nobody
I'm
to shout-
single. Slide into my DMs.
Wow,
Open
look at that.
season.
There's nobody
The
to shout
summer.
out.
Look at that.
No,
After shout out to
there's
my
no-
favorite
The
there's
guy.
nobody-
There's
summer
nobody
is
to-
open. The summer is coming. You know, the Bachelorette House of Chocolate edition is open now. Send your applications. Thank you. Transfer window is open. All right, over to you.
I don't have any transfer window. That thing is.
Sorry,
big.
please. Where do we sign up?
Just you have an Instagram.
I'm
Slide
closed.
into my
Mine-
DMs.
Mine's
Slide into
closed,
my
man.
DMs.
I'm done.
You're done. Yeah. You're
No,
going out
I'm off season right now. I'm chilling. Just.
Are you off season, or are you off season because the person off season like I'm chilling?
I'm chilling. I'm focused right now.
Yeah,
Let's just say
focus.
that.
I
I'm
don't-
focused right now. So we thank you guys. I'm focused right now. Just
I can't even laugh
Thank
too
you
much,
guys. That
bro.
is the episode today. Shout out to her favorite nigga. As she said, you're a lucky man. But
Is he
No, you're
really
lucky,
though?
man.
Is he really though?
this
Yeah,
is why
lucky
toxic.
nigga.
See, this oh my God. Anyways, thank you. Oh my God.
Wow, what's the
God
day?
forbid,
What's
because
going to be the
neither
title
one
of this
ever-
episode?
We don't
Somebody's
even know.
gonna text her and say, think
You're
they're
like,
the
so I saw that
No,
podcast
they're gonna
episode.
think he's the favorite. You know how guys, you think you are the favorite one. It's only her.
You're like,
that-
yeah, of
So I say
course, she's
women
the
are
only one that will
dangerous.
ever know.
Women are dangerous.
Because someone will be like, I saw
No,
you,
my
I saw you,
favorite,
I saw you
my
shout
favorite
me
nigga
out.
actually knows that he's my favorite.
No,
nigga.
fellas, let me tell you advice right now. Never
Baby.
be delusional. You see,
Even I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this.
fellas, piece
I'm
of
a
advice.
joker.
Don't ever think you're the favorite one until you wife her.
Don't ever. And
Until wife.
to be honest, also depending on
Even
who your wife is,
wifey
because
get
even
level.
then,
Don't say me that.
no, but let's just keep it simple. Unless you're my girlfriend, then
Statistically, I met people they marry their favorite nigga. But anyway, let's not get into that. Let's start another one.
Let's really
And
not.
Shout out to
until
you.
next time, guys. I am
Let's
Michael
really not.
Sonario,
And I'm Murewa Ogunkoya.
and we will see you next time on Menisms.
Bye.
How chaotic.
There's some men that will text you that next week. What?
Yes. And I'm like, hey, so I saw you shout me out. I saw you shout me out.